Okay, so have you ever been scrolling online and seen someone just declare, like really dramatically, that they'd rather, unalive themselves than work a 9 to 5?
Oh, definitely. It's everywhere.
And it's not usually about like actual abuse or terrible conditions. Sometimes it's just the idea of it. This almost performative despair, where people seem to be putting on this big show of sadness about having a regular job.
It's a really intense sentiment that's gotten, yeah, alarmingly common.
And it makes you question, like, how real is it? Because it feels like at its core, we're sort of being conditioned, maybe even brainwashed a little, to just hate working for other people.
Mm.
The 9 to 5 has become this, like, huge scapegoat, right? For any personal dissatisfaction, maybe boredom, maybe just not knowing what you want.
Yeah, blaming the structure instead of looking inward sometimes.
Exactly. But what if that whole narrative isn't just, misguided? What if it's actually harmful? What if it's setting us up, and maybe especially people in HR trying to manage things,
Yeah,
for this feeling of failure or this constant cycle of disengagement?
that's a huge point,
Mm.
especially for HR. How do you engage people who are being told the very structure is the enemy?
Right. So if you're listening and you're navigating your own career in a full-time job, or, yeah, particularly if you're in HR dealing with engagement, retention, all that stuff, this deep dive is definitely for you.
We hope so.
We're going to unpack that narrative, this whole anti 9 to 5 thing, and look at a completely different perspective, a more empowering one, maybe. So stick with us. And please, if this resonates, share it. Let's, work together to build a more informed, more strategic HR community.
Absolutely. It's true. This anti 9 to 5 feeling is just so deeply ingrained now. And what's really crucial for us today, I think, is looking at how Sylvia Olah, in her article, it's called Don't Hate or Escape the 9 to 5, Instead Make It Work for You. She just challenges this head on.
Yeah, it's a strong title.
It is.
Yeah.
So our mission, really, for this deep dive is to pull out those key insights. How can we actually shift our thinking, our mindset, and start strategically using a full-time job instead of just resenting it?
Okay, so let's dive deeper into that. The article, like you said, it doesn't pull punches. It argues this narrative, this hating the 9 to 5 thing. It's not just influence. The term used is cold brainwashing.
Strong words.
Very. And it stresses, again, it's often not about actual abuse in the workplace, but this conditioning that just paints the standard 9 to 5 as inherently inferior, like it's automatically less than something else.
And if we connect that to the big picture,
Mm.
the article brings up a fundamental truth we often gloss over,
Yeah.
which is that most people, the vast majority probably, will work for someone else,
Mm.
at least for a big chunk of their career.
Yeah, that's just reality.
And that's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
It's normal. The world doesn't actually need millions and millions of entrepreneurs. And honestly,
Yeah.
most people aren't really wired for that level of risk and uncertainty anyway.
Right. It's a different skill set, different pressures.
Totally. So it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Why are we constantly being sold this narrative that seems designed to make so many people feel like they're failing or discontented
Right.
just for having a normal job instead of a narrative that, embraces the reality for most folks?
Absolutely. And here's the kicker, the really surprising, almost ironic part the article points out.
Hmm.
Our entire modern world, right? Our cities that work, public services, healthcare systems, roads, bridges, all of it. It was largely built by 9 to 5 workers.
That's a fact.
People who showed up consistently, did the job, built stable lives, and yeah, many of them even built significant wealth doing it.
Through pensions, savings, steady investment.
Exactly. So that reality directly contradicts this newer idea that having a full-time job is somehow the ultimate personal failure. It's just not historically accurate.
And what's really provocative, and it definitely pushes back against a lot of the current career advice noise out there,
Yeah.
is the article's really blunt statement. The real purpose of work is money, not meaning.
Wow. Okay. That's direct.
It is. It argues that maybe we've overcomplicated something pretty basic. Your job's number one function. It's practical. It pays the bills. It funds the life you want outside of work. It provides stability.
Right.
It doesn't have to be this, deep wellspring of instant passion and profound personal meaning every single hour of every day. That's a really high bar.
It really is. And this is where the article totally flips the script on that whole find your passion thing.
How so?
It suggests that, quote, the modern culture of over-romanticizing purpose and passion has quietly made people resentful of perfectly good jobs.
Interesting. Resentful because the job doesn't feel like a constant passion project.
Pretty much. The common advice is like, figure out your passion first, then find a job doing that. But the article argues it often works the other way around.
Okay.
Most people who are genuinely passionate about their work, they became passionate because they got good at it first, and they only got good because they stuck with it long enough to master it.
So passion follows competence, not the other way around necessarily.
Yeah. Exactly. Mastery breeds enjoyment, breeds passion.
That really raises a huge question, doesn't it? For employees thinking about their careers, but also for HR folks.
How so?
Are we, as a society, maybe even within our companies, pushing this passion-first idea so hard that we're setting up unrealistic expectations?
Does that actually lead to more discontent when people don't find that instant magical passion in their job?
That's a great point. Like, HR runs engagement surveys, but maybe the root issue is this expectation mismatch.
Could be. What Sylvia Olah seems to suggest is maybe the focus should be more on, okay, how do we help people develop skills, achieve mastery? How can they strategically use their work environment? Because those things might actually lead to genuine passion and satisfaction down the road.
That feels much more grounded. And it connects to financial goals too, right? Because the whole idea that you can only get rich by being an
Oh,
entrepreneur.
that's such a myth.
The article just blows that up with some really compelling examples. It makes you totally rethink things.
Mm.
It really does debunk that entrepreneur-only myth. It shows just how many people have hit millionaire status through, regular 9-to-5 jobs.
Like who? What kind of examples?
Well, think about tech employees, right? Thousands of engineers, product managers, designers at places like Google, Meta, Apple. They became millionaires from salaries, bonuses, and especially stock options. No need to start their own thing.
Okay, tech makes sense with the stock options.
Sure, but then there are government workers. This one surprises people.
Right.
But a significant number of postal workers, teachers, military folks, they've reached millionaire status. How? Just by consistently saving and investing over decades, living within their means. It's pure discipline.
Wow. Okay, that's less obvious but makes sense over time.
Then you have your corporate lifers.
Yeah.
People who climb the ladder in big companies, they reach executive roles, get generous pay packages. But even mid-level managers, maybe earning 100K, 150K a year, if they invest wisely over time, they can retire very comfortably, sometimes even early.
Right, the power of compounding.
Exactly. And finally, the article mentions side hustlers with a backbone. These are people who use their stable 9-to-5 job to fund their side businesses or real estate ventures. The day job pays the bills, removes the desperation, provides the seed capital. It's the safe base from which they build wealth.
That's a really smart way to look at it. So the secret, like the article says so clearly, is just they didn't waste energy hating their jobs, they used them.
Exactly. It's a total mindset shift from victim to strategist.
Okay, so if the goal is to use your job strategically for growth, for money, what's the biggest thing holding people back internally?
The article is crystal clear on this. It says, hatred is not strategy. It's a mental obstacle.
That hits hard. Because it's true, right? When you really hate something or you're just deeply bitter and resentful,
Yeah.
you actually shut down your brain's ability to think clearly about it or creatively or strategically if all your mental energy is going into resenting the job.
You're missing the opportunities right in front of you.
Totally. You miss the paycheck as a tool for investment. You miss the chance to learn valuable skills, even if it's just dealing with difficult people. You miss the network you could be building. You're basically sabotaging yourself.
That bitterness becomes this huge distraction. It tricks you maybe into thinking the problem is purely external. This job sucks. The
Right.
system sucks. When often, the real block is internal. It's a lack of strategy, maybe a lack of clear direction, or just the wrong mindset.
Yeah, like that Prince Harry example people sometimes talk about being so focused on resentment doesn't actually change the institution. It mostly just seems to impact him. You can't out-hustle
Yeah.
kind of negativity.
Exactly. You can only really build something solid with, acceptance of the current reality, focus, and real intention. And for HR people listening, this is so critical. Employee dissatisfaction isn't always about needing a new program or perk. Sometimes it's about helping people shift their perspective, cultivate a more proactive, strategic mindset about the job they have. What the company offers is kind of limited by what the individual's mindset allows them to see and use.
So the article really nails it. The 9 to 5 isn't the enemy. Misalignment is.
Perfect summary.
If you're in the wrong job for you, the answer isn't necessarily to declare war on all jobs or get bitter about the whole concept of working for someone else.
Right.
It's to find a better fit. Learn a skill that opens more doors, or manage your money smarter so your job actually serves your life goals.
Be strategic, not just reactive or resentful.
Okay, so let's get practical then. The article lays out, 12 actionable strategies for making the 9 to 5 work for you.
Yeah, 12 specific points.
And these aren't just, tips for employees. I think they offer huge insights for HR too,
Yeah.
on what employees could be doing, maybe what systems HR could optimize, or even just how HR communicates things to empower people better.
Absolutely. These strategies really frame the shift, like we said, from being a victim of the 9 to 5 to being its strategic user.
Okay, lay some on us. What's first?
All right, first up, leverage the stability, that regular paycheck. Use it. Use it to fund investments, pay for education, maybe test out a business idea on the side. But do it with zero desperation because your basic needs are covered.
Removes the pressure, yeah.
What's next? Master the system. Learn how raises, promotions, bonuses actually work in your specific company, not just general ideas. The article points out most people never ask.
That's true. We just assume or complain.
Right. Asking, understanding the rules, that's how you play the game effectively.
Mm,
Then make yourself valuable. Seems obvious, but when you get really good at what you do, your options just multiply inside the company, outside the company. Competence creates leverage.
makes sense. Get good, get options.
And number 4, invest early and often. Even if you're on an average salary, pairing that with a solid, consistent savings and investing plan is incredibly powerful over time. That's how those quiet, non-flashy millionaires often get there. Consistency.
Okay, those first few really frame the job as a platform, a tool. What else? What about mindset and boundaries?
Great question. Building on that platform idea, set boundaries and goals. Your 9 to 5 needs to serve your goals too, not just the company's mission statement. Be clear with yourself what's your exit plan. What lifestyle are you funding? What's your promotion timeline?
Having your own agenda for the job.
Exactly. And related to that, go where the job is. Be willing to relocate, switch industries, change companies if it means better pay, faster growth, more valuable experience. Your primary loyalty, it should be to your own long-term goals and strategic career moves.
That's a tough one for some people, the loyalty thing.
It can be. Then there's treat your job like an investor. I love this one. The article calls your 9 to 5 your first angel investor.
Yeah.
It funds your life, your ideas, your skills development, maybe your side projects. So show up like someone who understands they're receiving valuable capital, not just someone punching a clock. Bring that level of seriousness and strategy.
That's a powerful reframe and probably something HR could subtly encourage. What about getting ahead, like promotions?
Yeah, learn the game of promotions. Promotions are rarely just about doing your current job well. Often it's more about visibility, your relationships, timing, showing you're ready for the next level. So figure out what the decision makers in your org actually value and align yourself with that.
Politics, networking, perception, all that stuff matter.
It does. You have to play the game.
Okay, so we've covered stability, value, goals, investor mindset, promotions. What about managing the money itself and like your identity?
Right. The last few strategies really focus there. Number 9, automate your money. As soon as that paycheck hits your account, have automatic transfers set up. Send money straight to savings, to retirement accounts, to investments. Build wealth quietly in the background without having to think about it every month.
Set it and forget it. Smart.
Then don't tie your identity solely to your job. Take pride in your work, absolutely. Be professional, of course. But don't let your job title define your entire sense of self-worth.
That's a big one in today's culture.
It is. You're allowed to have other interests, to want more, to see your job as just one part of your life, maybe even a stepping stone. That detachment actually keeps you more focused and mentally free. Less emotional baggage tied to work.
Yeah, less likely to take things personally, maybe.
Could be. Number 11.
Yeah.
Use the 5 to 9 wisely, meaning
Right.
what you do in those hours outside of work evenings, weekends often shapes your future more than the 9 to 5 itself. Use that time for learning new skills, building a side income, networking, or even just smart rest and recovery so you can show up sharp.
Don't just collapse on the couch every night.
Right. Be intentional with that time too.
Hmm.
And finally, number 12. Exit on purpose, not emotion. If and when you decide to leave your job, make sure it's based on a well-thought-out plan. Your goals, your next step. Don't just rage quit because of online pressure or one bad week.
A strategic exit is always better than a reactive one.
Every single time. And that's key for HR too, right? Understanding that a planned, constructive departure is way healthier for everyone than someone leaving disgruntled and bitter.
Definitely. Wow. Okay, that's a lot of practical, actionable stuff. So bringing it all together, what does this mean for you, the listener? Whether you're the employee figuring things out or you're the HR pro trying to build a workplace that actually works.
I think Sylvia Olah's article lands on a really powerful final message,
Yeah.
which is, look, Escaping the 9 to 5 might be the right move for some people, but it should be a conscious, strategic decision based on your real goals, your actual strengths, the resources you have,
Mm,
not just a knee-jerk reaction to online hype or feeling a bit fed up.
yeah.
Don't waste your precious energy hating your job. That bitterness, like we discussed, it only really corrodes you. It doesn't help you build anything better.
And I love how Sylvia Olah puts it at the end. She says, basically, you're not stuck, you're funded,
Hmm.
you're not trapped, you're training,
Powerful.
and you're not behind, you're
Yeah.
building.
It completely reframes the situation, doesn't it? From constraint to opportunity.
Totally.
And so maybe the final question, the one for you to really think about after listening, is this. How can you start applying more of that strategic investor-like mindset to your current 9 to 5? How can you transform it in your own mind and actions from something you might just tolerate or resent into a powerful tool for actually building the life you truly want?